PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 160. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I'm joined, as always, by Fulia, Matt, and Ron. How's everyone doing on this lovely, lovely evening?
Doing good.
Yeah, good.
That's good.
Still riding high from watching Deadpool and Wolverine. It's living rent-free in my mind. Like, I'm so happy. Cloud9. No spoilers. Just can't stop thinking about it. It's such a good movie.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people were tweeting about that one this weekend. So I have not seen it.
Neither have I.
Maybe one day. Also, it sounds like someone.
Please.
One of the four of us. Sorry, it sounds like they're out in the field as well. I hear the crickets and other stuff going, which is very exciting. But anyway, it just kind of reminded me of being like outdoors, like on the patio with friends, just talking. So, anyways, it's all good. Let's get into the show proper. So I don't know if you've been hearing the doorbell, but like I keep hearing a little knocking, like housekeeping, because of course it's housekeeping time, folks. So folks at home, if you want to, I'm doing the RPG cave housekeeping. What am I doing here? We of course have new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with Peje EP, who is already a patron, but upgraded to the platinum tier, aka the official tier of the PlayStation Drive, getting that platinum trophy over on patreon.com/carpoolgaming. So shout out to Peje. Also, we got the Jiggy Collector, who joined at the gold tier as well. Of course, the second official tier of the PlayStation Drive. But also, the Jiggy Collector sounds like it's a reference to Banjo-Kazooie. Just throwing that out there. And then last but not least, we got Daryl, who joined at the ad-free all-in-one tier as well. So shout out to all of our new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And of course, we have a bunch of new content over there, including Fulia, Pants Patreon podcast, Patrons podcast with a certain someone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent episode.
Yep.
Thank you.
I didn't have a chance to check it. Is it 4 hours long again?
No.
Or did you get the time down a little bit?
It's 1 hour less than my first one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? I went there and it's a solid 2 hours. It's not that bad, but yes,
Improvement.
So, that number is slightly going down. You know what? It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check that out on the Patreon. We can't really. I don't want to spoil who's next, but a certain person who hasn't done the Pants podcast in a while is doing the Pants podcast this week, and that's all I'm going to say about it. You'll have to find out tomorrow morning on the Patreon feed. As well, we've got Campfire and a bunch of other cool shows over on the Patreon, so make sure to check that out as well. We also have our Summer Game Fest merch. This is the last week for it, by the way. It's finally the last week because at the end of the month, the Summer Game Fest merch is going away. So you basically have until the beginning of August to be able to get that. So make sure you grab that now. We also have the new Campfire t-shirt as well. So if you want to check out and support the new podcast Campfire, you can definitely check that out as well over on the old website, carpoolgaming.com. So make sure to go over there. But without further ado, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week. Starting, as always, with Ron. What did you play this week, my friend?
Finally got some time to get with Trails Through Daybreak. So caught up on that a little bit. Made some progress. I am still having a good time with the combat. I'm starting to finally kind of nail it a little bit. Haven't found a way to break it yet. Like in Cold Steel, by now I would be overpowered and abusing the system. But Daybreak has not allowed me to do that yet. But I'm going to find a way to make it happen. But like I said, still having a great time with it. The plot is moving along. Story is definitely darker than what was going on in Cold Steel, at least in the beginning games. So having a good time with it so far.
Yeah, I first of all, I'm excited that you're having fun with it. I'm also feeling a little bit weird though that the promotion is already ramping up for the sequel coming out, and even though this game just came out, like NIS just keeps announcing like new additions for this game, and I'm for the sequel, and I'm just like, but the first one just came out. Why are you doing this so soon?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal because usually most of the time when a game comes out from Falcom, if it's not the Ys games, usually it takes a while for the next Trails game to come out. So that turnaround is really fast, which is fine. At least we don't have to wait a year and a half, 2 years anymore. So I think that's the biggest deal about it. This is the fastest it's happened for another Trails game. So it's a pretty big deal. But yeah, you're right. They haven't even let the paint dry yet, and it's still already like, here's the next one coming.
Yeah.
Give it a trailer already. I was like, whoa.
Like, can't you like at least the first one settle a bit? Like, that's how I kind of feel about it. Because like,
yeah,
because this is the type of thing where they could just announce it like 4 months before it comes out, and it'd be fine. Yeah, right. Like, it kind of reminds me because I follow Magic the Gathering cards. Of course, I've talked about this before on other shows, and they have a very similar problem where like. One set just came out, like Bloomburrow is the newest set. It's coming out this week, but they're already talking about the next set that's coming out after it, or even the next 2 sets that are coming out after it. And I'm just like, can't you let Bloomburrow come out first and let it like sit for a week or 2 before you start talking about the next set? Like, I'm kind of getting the similar feeling with this as well.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just weird to me that they're going so hard on it.
People need to calm their farm, right? It's like seeing stuff for Halloween in the grocery store. It's like, slow down. Let me enjoy summer, right? Next thing you know, they're going to put out Christmas decorations. It's like, I love Christmas, but calm your farm. Relax, Max. Let's just enjoy summer. Let's just let Ron enjoy Trails Through Daybreak. Slow down.
Wait a minute. You did the calm your farm and the relax, Max all in one go. You can't do that.
I'm doing it for you, Ron. I'm doing it for you. Falcon Empire's getting ahead of themselves.
The what?
This is for you.
What? The what Empire?
The Falcon. The Falcon Bros. Falcon Empire.
Wrong.
Chillax, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you, Koala.
The Falcon Empire. I mean, I don't even know what this show is anymore. What are we even doing here? What is my life anymore? I don't understand.
Off the rails already.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we talk about Trails games on the show. It's like the show goes off the rails.
It's Matt's fault. I didn't even say anything about the Falcon Empire yet.
I mean,
he went there with his little Falcon bros.
Yeah, good point. Well, okay, Matt. Since you brought up the Falcon Empire, what did you play, my friend?
Played a few different games this week. I tried to play Little Nightmares again because we are playing it for the Backtrackers. I believe we're meeting on August 11th. Good pick. And when reading it on paper, this is like a perfect Nagachaka Mat game. It's a spooky game, highly regarded. I've tried playing this game like 5 or 6 times. I don't know what it is. I know what it is that I don't like about it. From 5, 6 times I played it, I don't like solving puzzles. I really don't like solving. To me, they're obtuse, and I have to be reading or watching a YouTube video. They're hard. They are very, very hard, and I can't figure them out. Man. Yeah, they're hard. So for that, it just pulls me out of the spoopy vibes, right? Like it pulls me out when I have to pause the game, read something, or watch a guide to figure out how to open a door without getting electrocuted. I'm sorry. But otherwise...
Well, it kind of reminds me of Insided that way, or Limbo, like those games from Playdead on Xbox. Like, because that's one of the things I don't like about those games either. It's like the puzzles aren't necessarily hard, but they're obtuse, and they're like, if you're not like paying attention to the environment, it's kind of annoying. So it's just like, I just don't really love those games in particular, which is why like I didn't really like Little Nightmares as well, because it really reminded me of that same style of game as well.
I feel better. It's not just me. And
no, it's not just you. Trust
you're
me.
not alone.
Yeah.
I thought something was wrong because it's a horror game and I love horror games, and I was like, I don't know what. It's just I'm not scared when I have to keep reading a website of how to solve said puzzle. But otherwise, I did give it another try. Sorry, but just not for me. Continued a little bit with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. Still grinding away, leveling up. Not exactly 100% sure where the main story is, but I don't want to spoil it yet. I'll see where it goes. I think I have an idea of what they're doing. But then I spent the entire week sacrificing sleep because I really wanted to finish the one and only Parasite Eve, and I finished
Let's
it
go.
just today. I finally did it. Took me 12 hours. Took me a lot longer than most people. I'm quite confident that I'm missing something from the mechanics because it was hard. Like I was getting my butt kicked quite often.
I was gonna say if you don't like look at because I know there are guides about like the equipment guide because the way you equip your character is interesting in that game where you're like it wants you to like use old pieces of equipment to then upgrade new pieces of equipment, and if you don't follow like a specific way of doing that, it makes the combat encounters a little bit more difficult.
So I understood that on day 5, and if you haven't played Parasite Eve, there's 6 days.
Right.
So only on the 5th day did I realize like, oh, this is how you upgrade your weapon. Oh, this is how you upgrade your armor. So prior to day 5, I was using almost base weaponry and armor. So yeah, I told Ron about this because he messaged me and I was like, it's hard. And he's like, I don't remember being hard. He's like, inventory management. I'm like, no. I'm Resident Evil. I know inventory management. Combat is getting very, very challenging where my HP was like 200 and people would hit me and it'd be like 50. Doesn't sound too bad. When there's 3 of them, I'm losing 150 HP. So every turn is, I hit you, I heal myself. I hit you, I heal myself. So every battle is like becoming 3-4 minutes. Hence why it took me.
You're just downing all those green herbs. You're just like nom 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 nom, so you don't die.
Non-stop. What was it? Parasite energy or whatever it is to heal myself.
It's not green herbs, but I like to joke about that. It's basically the same thing, though.
Same thing. So it took me a while, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. The story went off the rails. Like that's fine, and that's okay. Wasn't expecting too much from the story, but in terms of the spoopy vibes, it was there. The combat, it is quite fun once I figured out how to actually play properly. Mm-hmm. There's some old school stuff that is a bit punishing, but that's to be expected. And some of it's just like old school RPG stuff that I personally don't like. So for example, like random encounters, they're not random. Okay. Every time I walk in a room, I have to fight. So it's not random. Okay.
It's random what enemies you'll fight though. That's the random part.
Fine. But I know for a fact, if I walk back through this door, I'm going to have to fight somebody. But yes, I don't know which enemies I'm going to get. And I think it's day 5 or day 6 where you have to go through a museum. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited because I was like, oh, this is like the RPD. This is like the Spencer Mansion. So it's a very large and sprawling building, which I was excited to do, but there's no map. Right. So that became very challenging because I need my maps. And as I mentioned earlier, every single room you enter, you have to fight. So backtracking became very challenging because if I got lost, I'm doing these 3-4 minute battles every single time. Like I'm telling you, like it from what Ryan said, everybody else, it's like a 6-hour game, an 8-hour game, almost 13 hours because I got lost and these battles took a very long time. But I did it. I powered through and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Will I play Parasite Eve 2? Yes, but not right away. But just because everybody, I think the panel here said it was okay-ish.
Yeah, we talked about it too. It's just one of those things where it's like, you should at least try it. Because you might actually enjoy it and you might not. And if you put it down, then you put it down. Who cares? You tried it at least, right? So first of all, Matt, I'm so glad you finally played it. And you can definitely probably tell like why I recommended that game for you. Because it definitely like, it feels like, the type of game that, us Resident Evil fans really wanted, which also just begs like, it also just probably makes you even more sadder that like Capcom's never attempted this with Resident Evil ever. And they should. Like, what are they doing? Like, good God, like this is like they keep doing these spin-offs with the multiplayer stuff, but like, dude, they should do a Resident Evil RPG. What are they doing at this point?
It's right there. It's so good. Like it's exactly what you said. They got the what's it called? Static backgrounds. What is it? Yep. It's like
the static
pre-rendered backgrounds. Yeah, like just stuff like that. Like manual saves through a phone. Like it's very Resident Evil-esque, but like you said, mashed up perfectly with RPG mechanics. It's easy money. Has there ever been rumors for a remake for Parasite Eve? Like anything?
No.
Not even rumor?
No.
So it's not happening. So it's never happening.
No, I don't think.
It didn't sold very well, I don't think, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it didn't?
I think it actually sold like decently well for the time because it was a PlayStation Platinum hit, or greatest hit. Okay. So it had to be above a certain sales threshold in order to be able to be
PlayStation standards, not Square Enix's probably.
Well, Well,
That's also true.
Square
They were
soft,
Squaresoft
yeah.
at the
They were
time.
different back then, yeah.
I was gonna say I think their standards were much different back then, Ron. Because of all their games on the PlayStation 1, I think the only ones that became greatest hits for Squaresoft were the 3 Final Fantasy games, Parasite Eve, and then Final Fantasy Tactics. Like I think those were the ones.
Well, Vagrant Story. I think that was one too.
It was?
I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
That would have been like super late in the PS1's life cycle. But yeah, but that's what I mean. Like those are the only ones. Like it sold when you look at it that way. Like it must have been like in the top selling games for SquareSoft of that generation. So people did play it because the sequel did not become a greatest hit, and of course, the Third Birthday did not sell well either. So I think that's more of the reason why they'll never go back to it. Even though I do think there's a great idea there for them to do that. Like I think the most we might ever pray for is the idea of them like just bringing back the PS1 version playable, like Chrono Cross or Final Fantasy, like those PlayStation 1 ports to modern consoles. But yeah,
It's too bad. I really enjoyed it. It's a good recommendation. Thank you, friends. Really enjoyed it. Even though it's hard, really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you liked it, man. But Fulia, how about you? What'd you play?
So I didn't really get much of a chance to play this past week, like just because I've been really busy trying to organize things and working and all that sort of stuff. But I did have my little sort of subathon on the weekend, and I played some Mario Party Superstars with some friends, community gaming. I did also jump into, because the Olympics have started, I went back to play Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 because there's no Paris edition. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're doing the Tokyo one then.
That is so weird. Like this year in particular, there were no Olympic Games video games.
Not even on Switch.
Yeah, they didn't even do Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games this year. Just nothing.
No, nothing. Nothing came out of it. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'll go back to the previous Olympic Games game. So did that. Had a good laugh out of that one, especially considering the fact that in that game, you can actually have, other than just your country's uniform, you can have like random outfits on too, which is really hilarious. And I actually managed at, not this particular time around, but the last time I played it, which was like back in 2021, I managed to unlock the Sonic mascot outfit.
Nice. So all your dudes are Sonic, I guess?
Yeah, so my little character was my little avatar had the Sonic mascot on for like, especially for like the sprints, the running sprints, for the 100-meter sprint and all that sort of stuff. And there was a point where I got to the finals and I lost, so I was like, nah, got to take it off now. Not fast enough.
Clearly not. You got to go fast, but apparently not fast enough.
No, not fast enough. No.
Although I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm glad that you clarified that it's Sonic the Hedgehog and not the mascot from the fast food restaurant Sonic, because that's what I thought in my head. It was this the whatever the mascot for Sonic, the restaurant.
Does Sonic have a mascot?
Yeah, I think Sonic probably has a mascot. I'm gonna look this up while you guys talk.
Yeah, okay.
Keep talking.
I was about to say, I don't think so.
My avatar for the Olympic Games game had the Sonic the Hedgehog mascot outfit on for a few of the events, not all of them, but a few of them, including swimming, which kind of dragged me down, unfortunately, and bouts of boxing as well, which that went down interestingly.
Oh yeah.
Tell us more about the
tell us
boxing,
more.
please.
No one needs
Go
to
into
know.
details. Go into details,
No.
No.
Here.
If you
Not all of us were at the
really
stream.
want to
Come on.
know, go and watch the VOD of the stream,
There you go.
or the clip that Ron may have shared in the PlayStation Drive.
Oh, there's no mate. I shared it in PlayStation Drive.
That's right.
Everybody needs to go see that.
Yeah. Now,
Kind of
100%.
raged a bit.
now I'm gonna save Fulia a little bit here. Y'all ready to have your minds blown?
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready to blow your all minds with this. This is the mascot for Sonic. It's a giant hot dog man with a Sonic hat.
I have never seen any of these at the Sonic here in my city.
They're there somewhere, Rod. Maybe
What's that second one that looks like a yellow marshmallow?
It's a
I don't
block
know
of
what that's
cheese.
supposed to be. Yeah, maybe cheese.
Cheese. It's a block of cheese
Well, maybe he's a tater tot.
or corn. No, it's corn or tater tot.
Why would there be
got
corn
options.
at Sonic? No.
I'm pretty sure it's a tater tot because they like their tots at Sonic.
It's not a block of cheese.
It's
don't
not a
sell
block of
blocks of cheese
cheese.
there?
It's definitely. I don't think it's a tater tot either. I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, because you also got Sarathina also says tater tot as well, but no, and
it
then
an
of
egg?
course you got
I
the
don't
milkshake man, of course, because milkshakes
With
are
the
big
cherry
in
on
Sonic.
top?
Yeah, but in particular,
is?
this hot dog dude is like with the hat on. Like I looked it up, and like that's the official mascot is the hot dog man.
okay.
So there you go. Y'all
it's
learned
the hot
something
dog.
new. The restaurant Sonic has a mascot.
my
It's a
God.
hot dog man.
I will have to look into this when I'm in the US.
I mean, Sonic's a fine restaurant.
Sonic does have good food.
Get ready for like a million options on the menu, though, Fulia. It's kind of like
Oh
Cheesecake
yeah,
Factory. in
I
that
wouldn't.
way.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yes. So I played those on my Subathon day, but then I also played some more Murder on the Orient Express. I sort of managed to get through quite a bit of it actually, like a few hours of it. And yeah, there's even like it's not just what's happening on the train, but there's also connection stories outside of it now, and you're playing as a different character from a flashback story, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying Murder on the Orient Express. It's definitely a step up from the previous iterations of the Hercule Poirot games. So really enjoying it. I am also doing a playthrough for it on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check it out, you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/foolishfuji, and you can already watch episode 1, part 1. That is already up, and then I'll have a few and then I'll keep adding more as I play through it. So yeah, it's been good.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good list of games there, Fulia.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I could sidetrack it a little bit with the Sonic mascot. So there you go. Now I'm just thinking about that mascot all the time. I'm like, that hot dog actually looks like it'd be quite yummy. But
What about you, Ryan? What have you been playing?
oh, well, thank you very much for properly segueing in there. First of all, I finished Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I talked about it a lot on last week's show, but I finished it on Monday, so it was actually like the day after we recorded because I didn't have much left. I was basically at like pretty close to the final battle in that game. I liked that game a lot. You know, it has like its flaws, and I don't really feel any differently than when I talked about it on last week's show. But I think it's a pretty good role playing game. Definitely, if you like role playing game like JRPGs and the Lord of the Rings the movies, like it's a slam dunk of a game. I think it's actually well worth your time and worth playing, and it was actually pretty good on the GameCube. So I did not get all the Sir Ian McKellen unlockables though. I did miss a couple of those, but I made sure to listen to every single one of them that I unlocked because they were so good. But so yes, fun game. Also, that's one where I would love to see them do like a modern rendition of that, or like a modern, Lord of the Rings game, like RPG on consoles. I think that'd be cool. I also played Jaws on the NES, y'all. Like that.
Oh, Lord.
That was a fun game. Of course, I didn't finish it. I didn't successfully destroy Jaws, but I collected a whole bunch of seashells. So that was very exciting because that's kind of what you do in that game. But I've been talking. I actually had a conversation before the show started with a good friend of the show, Steve Vegvari, and we talked about like how we're both kind of in gaming slumps right now. We're like, I just don't know what to play next in a lot of ways. Like I feel a little bit lost because I know that all the big games are coming at the end of August. We got Visions of Mana, we got Star Wars Outlaws, we got the World of Warcraft expansion. Like they're all coming out at the end of August, but I'm like, what do I do until then? Like I actually don't know. I feel a little bit lost, and I feel like I'm in a gaming slump where I've picked up a couple things and like put them down very quickly because I'm just not in the mood for them. But I did play Mortal Kombat 1 last night because we got the announcement over the weekend that the Chaos Reigns expansion is coming to Mortal Kombat 1 in September, which I'm pretty excited about, especially because we've got some really cool new characters. In fact, I'm excited for all the new characters this time around, which doesn't happen that often when they do like character drops for Mortal Kombat, because they're bringing back Cyrox and Sector from Mortal Kombat 3, Noob Saibot, and then the movie characters this time around are top notch. We got Conan the Barbarian, and we've got the T-1000 from Terminator 2, and I'm actually very, very excited about that. And of course, Ghostface from Screens there too. How could I forget about him? So, Mortal Kombat 1, I've just enjoyed a bunch of online matches last night, and it was a lot of fun. But besides that, like, I'm kind of in limbo right now. Like, I don't really know where I want to go next, and I don't know if I want to do another tournament bracket. I can determine on my own what I wanted to play, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm in a weird mood where I kind of almost like maybe want to, spend more time watching movies and stuff and not spend as much time playing games this week. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sort of similar in that respect where I'm like, I'm not quite sure if I'm really in the mood to play anything. So I've been watching more stuff lately. So
Okay.
There's lots of good stuff to watch. There's lots of good stuff. There's
there is.
Cobra Kai, new season of Cobra Kai. Still have to watch that myself. Their Boys just wrapped up. Like, there's lots of good stuff to watch. And like I said, Deadpool Wolverine in theaters. It's worth it. So good.
Oh, Fulia, I have to ask, did you start watching the new Fairy Tale show? I have not started watching it either. The one we talked about like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I've totally forgotten. No, I haven't.
Oh, jeez. You were so excited about it. You were like, oh my God, I have to look this up as soon as we're done recording. And then you totally forgot that there was even a thing, that they did a Fairy Tale series.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
I forgot too. That's right.
Yeah.
It's all right, Matt.
Where I was just like, I haven't gotten around to watching it.
Shut up, you two.
Well,
You forgot as well. Come on.
That's right.
I genuinely forgot. You two are just trolling.
We are not. We
I genuinely forgot.
too.
I
genuinely forgot.
Yes.
No,
mean,
Brian said, I was like, oh, that's right.
Okay.
There is Fairy Tale.
I was going to say, they don't pay attention to anime stuff. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, anyways, we should probably segue into topic of the week. But before we do that, actually, All-In Eric, 199 super sticker. Shout out to All-In Eric. We love you, of course.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Eric,
Thank you.
for the super sticker. We really appreciate you, and I hope you're having a lovely, lovely night.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the essential PlayStation library, because we're going to kind of build like a PlayStation 5 starter guide for people that are brand new to the PlayStation 5 platforms. We're going to talk about the 10 games that we think are the essential PlayStation 5 games. So we're going to go around the horn here. Now, usually we do 3 choices, but we decided to change things up a little bit because we wanted to have a top 10 list this time around. So everyone at the table brought 2 picks. 2. And then we're going to decide the final 2 games as a collective. We're going to have like a collective final 2 picks. Yes, go ahead, Fulia.
Can we all agree that anyone who buys a PS5 immediately has Astro's Playroom, so we don't have to mention that?
Yeah, because you can't even buy that game even if you wanted to.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's not like Wii Sports where there were certain Wii consoles that didn't come with it. In this case, you can't even buy Astro's Playroom. So
Yeah.
that's not even an option. So yes, that is off the table, but everyone should play it, of course. If you're
100%.
But Ron, we'll start with you, man. What is the first game you would like to submit to the essential PS5 list?
The GOAT? Ghost of Tsushima, of course. If you have a PS5, there's no reason why you should not have that game.
Unless your name's Seth.
Fantastic. Well, Seth has the game. He just doesn't want to play it. So
We tried.
yeah. He just doesn't like it. It's okay. Seth is still my guy. But yeah, man, if you're into action adventure games, you like great acting, you like great stories, fun combat, there's no reason why Ghost of Tsushima should not be a game you pick up for your PlayStation 5. That should just be automatic. There's certain things that are automatic in life, and that's one of them. Getting that game.
Nice.
It's a beautiful game too, right? Like, I just remember the opening scene. Like, I was like, I cannot believe this is a PS4 game. Like, it was beautiful. And considering it, like, this isn't a studio known for that kind of graphical prowess, I was like, this is really impressive. And just like Ron said, like, yes, it's fun, it's combat, there's story, but like, honestly, it is one of the most beautiful games. It's just like the scenery. Like, sometimes it's just fun to hop off your horse and just walk slowly. Just, write the poems. What are the Japanese poems? What are they called?
Haiku.
Haikus. Yep.
Yeah. Go in a hot spring bath. Just absorb the environment. Like, it's stunning. You'll enjoy quite a bit in addition to cutting people down like they're vegetables with your samurai sword.
Hey.
You get best of both worlds.
That's the way it goes down. Yeah.
Nice. That's a good pick. I think that's a really solid game that people will enjoy. Maybe Seth will play it one day. Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know.
No,
February
probably.
31st, right, Ron?
I'm gonna keep saying maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
February 31st for real.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, Matt. How about you, man? What's the first game you want to add to the list?
When I think of PlayStation ecosystem and I'm thinking about, people who are new, like Yon32 in the chat. I know one day Quaggy, he's gonna get a PS5. BobLoblaw, I'm trying to push him to get a PS5. But there's people out there that have not jumped in yet. And when they do, Ghost of Tsushima, excellent choice. But for me, when I think about PlayStation, like what's a seminal game, it's gonna have to be Uncharted 2, which you can get from the Nathan Drake collection. I'm not saying the one full experience, play them all.
I'll say it for you.
Fault.
I'll say it for you. Play all of them.
Okay, wasn't me. Not me this time, for everyone. Not me this time.
No.
I'm just saying try Uncharted 2. All right. Unfortunately, the only way to play it is through the collection. All right. So you will get the other games. You can play them later.
Well,
but the reason why, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think it's cheating to say that picking up the Nathan Drake collection is a good choice, because it's different from the one full experience thing that you usually do, because that's not a collection of games. That's 2 games that you have told people to buy, two full price games, but then lump them in as one game. Whereas this is a collection of multiple games, and the only way to get it is part of that collection. So I think it's safe to say that for the sake of the rules here and for the list, I'm going to just write down, because I'm jotting these down for a graphic that we're going to make later. That Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection is the pick here.
Excellent.
Thank you.
There we go.
Hashtag loopholes. I love it. I love it. So
And Matt's not
pick up the
wrong.
collection?
Uncharted collection is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I've already played
like,
one of them.
You see? And like I don't know. For me, it's like there is no PlayStation without Nathan Drake and the Uncharted series, right? Like he's such a huge part of the foundation. And me personally, Uncharted 2 is still my favorite. Uncharted 1's fun. It's a little bit dated, to be quite frankly.
Oof.
Uncharted 3, yeah, Fully knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, she played a reason. It's dated. It's rough. It's rough around the edges. Uncharted 3 was good. There's something about the hand-to-hand combat that threw me off. I mean, Uncharted, it's not like a punching game, like you're supposed to be shooting. Mm-hmm. But they am I wrong? They introduced some melee combat where you get to dodge. I don't know. It just didn't.
The melee combat's
wasn't
never
good
been
at
that tight. Except with Uncharted 4. But melee combat's never been that tight in those games.
Yeah, it's not meant for that. But I remember they introduced something that threw me off, and then I'm not recommending Uncharted 4 because that one is so narrative driven. Like you really do need to play 1, 2, 3 to actually enjoy the story payoffs in 4. But for me personally, I jumped into 2 right away just because somebody actually did recommend it that way. They said, you never played Uncharted, just jump to 2 because they said 1's pretty rough around the edges. And like, I don't want you to be turned off from the series. So jump into 2. If you like it, then you can go back. So I did jump into 2. Loved it. Like I was like, this is what I'm pretty sure that was like one of the first PS3 games I picked up. I was like, this is what I've been missing out on for playing so many Nintendo games all these years. I was like, this is just mind-blowing. I'll never forget that opening sequence, like so cinematic, so bombastic. And again, the reason why I'm recommending the Uncharted series is because it is a very narrative-driven story, especially when you do the entire collection. Like you do get some emotional beats, but it's quite lighthearted and it's just jovial. I think it's something that would appeal to everyone. Like spoiler alert, The Last of Us is not on my list for the essentials just because
What?
it's my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all times. Some people don't like that dark stuff, and they really don't.
Oh,
and like,
I am shocked, man. I am shocked.
Yeah, it's really not going to be on. Like, just I'm trying to think about like if this is my one chance to recommend something that will make sure that you're hooked into the PlayStation system, and and if I don't really know, I'm trying to go for mass appeal. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
listen,
makes sense.
I adore The Last of Us, the one full experience. It's my favorite stuff, but I know people who have played The Last of Us Part 1 and they're like, it's too dark. I don't like that stuff. And just not even the story beat wise, like it's like too spoopy or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I really want to pick something that I think will have mass appeal that everybody will enjoy. And I don't know. I have not met a person that does not like Nathan Drake. He is oozing with charm. Like games are fun. Like there's some,
Well, hold on. Your fellow ranch member, Cowboy, is not a fan of Uncharted 2, I think. Or maybe 3.
2?
Yeah.
3 I'm okay with. 3 I'm okay with. 2? Might have to have a sit down chat if he doesn't like Uncharted.
You're going to have to clarify with him. He shot that down quite a few times.
Three,
John
he's rough,
32.
in my opinion.
also points out,
Oh,
damn, I
Lord,
played the fourth
John.
one first.
Yeah, and I started at
Four was-
1.
Listen, 4 is mechanically the best one. Like, it's cinematic, like it's good. And you know, I still feel like you can pick up the pieces, but like if you've been along the Nathan Drake's journey, like with him and Sully, you just get these massive emotional story payoffs. But I still think it's standalone. I don't think you'll be confused. And fully, you know
I
what?
think so.
Good
I
for
don't
you
know.
for starting
4,
with 1.
I can't see starting off
Yeah?
at 4.
No, I think story-wise, you can't really. Like, I
Yeah.
think gameplay-wise,
It's hard,
it's the
eh?
most accessible, but it is definitely like, no.
Yeah,
It doesn't
there's
really
gonna be
give
some
like a
things you're
recap or
lost
anything.
on there.
Yeah. Exactly.
I started with Drake's
That's true.
Fortune.
You did the right thing.
Good for you.
I go in order. I don't know what it is about me with games, but
No,
if
that's the
there
way
is
you
a-
should do.
If there is a series of games and there's sequels to them, I go from the first one first.
That's what you should do because
Yeah.
it's so much harder to go back to the original one if you ever wanted to
Yeah.
after playing the newer one.
Unless it's a Final Fantasy game. You can start anywhere with those. But
Well, I was going to say those are not,
yeah.
number. Or
But
they're numbered,
Uncharted,
they're
well,
not,
yeah, go in order.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, do whatever works. Just experience Uncharted series. And
Yeah.
it's Nathan Drake. You just have to.
That collection is very good as well. So it's just one of those things where I think that's a great game to add. It was also Matt. That was actually one of the ones I had jotted down for like the communal picks. If it got to that point, if no one had mentioned this, so someone was gonna mention it at some point. But Fulia, how about you? What's the first one you would like to submit to the
Okay.
essential games list?
Well, if you end up enjoying Astro's Playroom, if you want some more platformer experience, I would highly recommend Sackboy Big Adventure. Because that's also another platformer. It's good fun. You can also play it with 2 players, which is also great. And your little Sackboy can wear all these different outfits, including, PlayStation IP outfits, which is really cool.
Yeah. Well, there's also
While
a ton
you're
of
running
DLC for
through.
it too, as well, if you're into that.
Yeah. So a lot of collectibles as well. So it's really good fun. There's also time trials challenges if you're really into sort of doing like little speed runs or whatever. But the great thing about those is that if you can actually challenge your friends to those time trials because you can actually see your friends' times as well, which is really cool.
Yes.
And I've
It
done
always
that
feels
a few
great
times.
when you get a threatening message over your phone when when you beat your friends' times.
Ron, you're
Koala.
making it sound like this is from experience.
Oh
Sounds
yeah.
like a
Didn't
personal
do no such
experience.
thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Please elaborate. Please
Such
elaborate.
thing.
I'm just having a good time playing Sackboy with my friends, and next thing I know, if I get another message that you beat my times, whoa, whoa.
Wow. Over a
Hey,
video
I got-
game.
I got curious about the time trials that one time I jumped into them, and then when I found out that you can actually see the people that are on your friends list, like their times as well, and then you could sort of beat them, and then they get notifications. Because then I started getting notifications from my friends saying, "Hey, they beat your time in this challenge." I'm like, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
claws
It's
came
on like
out.
Donkey Kong right now. Literally got to a point
competitive.
where me and another friend of mine, we went into a video TikTok chat.
Oh my god.
I recorded myself playing through a time trial, bet their time, and then they responded back with a YouTube short doing the same
Like
thing.
it. I
So
like
it's
it.
actually, but honestly, it's all in good fun as well. So we had a good laugh about it, and I find that to be the most entertaining part of it. Just the fact that you can play with friends, and then you can also challenge friends. And I think that's what's great about Sackboy Big Adventure, that you can actually do, both of those. Otherwise, you could just go off on your own and just do the whole platforming thing by yourself, and it's still a lot of fun. And just the way that all these little levels and worlds look are really great. So, highly recommend.
And the
Sackboy
music
for
is
sure.
great. The music is
Yes,
great too.
music's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Good
Definitely.
answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that a ton when the PS5 came out, when I first got my PS5, so I definitely have to agree with that pick there. But for me, it's one of those things where PlayStation, especially in this era, has really focused on one specific style of game, like third-person games, whether they're like platformers or action games or shooters. But I want to add some variety to this list because similar to what you were talking about, Matt, like I like the idea of having like a list like maybe somebody's not super into third-person shooters, so maybe they want like something else. So I am going to recommend, honestly, one of my favorite games on the PS5, and that's Gran Turismo 7, because I really like driving games, but especially Gran Turismo is one of my all-time favorite video game series, going all the way back to the PlayStation 1. And Gran Turismo 7, yes, it's got some weird online stuff, but ultimately it's one of the best racing games of this generation. I think it's a ton of fun. And also, too, if you've ever played any of the old, Gran Turismo games and you're nostalgic for some of the, the sounds and the music and some of the, the driver's license stuff and whatnot, that's all here in this version. And it's also probably one of the best Gran Turismo games they've come out with since the PlayStation 2 era. So I have to include Gran Turismo 7 on this list. One, so we have some variety, so we have a racing game on here. But two, honestly, I think it's just a very high quality game and one of the best games on the PlayStation 5. So shout out to Gran Turismo 7, knocking it in there. It's got to be on this list. So shout out to Gran Turismo.
Is it more fun? Is it more fun if you have the driving wheel and like the car, so like you get the full experience?
I mean, I've never done that before, so I can't really say that if it is or not. But I mean, I personally like one of the nice things about Gran Turismo is you can really be like flexible with how you want to play the game in the options menu. So you can make it as realistic as possible to where if you have the steering wheel and stuff like that, like it'll feel like you're really driving the cars. Or you can have it be like super arcadey if you want to as well, which is kind of more how I play Gran Turismo, because like I'm more of a fan of like arcadey racers than realistic ones anyways. So I do think that it does a really good job of letting you play how you want to play. And yeah, like I've never played with the steering wheel, so I can't talk too much about that experience though. But
is it compatible with PSVR 2?
It is. It's one of the best experiences on PSVR 2 as well. I forgot to mention that, but that's a good point, because it's honestly one of the selling features for the PSVR 2 in general, because you can play the whole game in PSVR 2, which is really cool. And again, like if you have the steering wheel and stuff too, like it's like it definitely is probably
You'd
like
be
the
so
full
immersed
experience
in that world if you had the PSVR 2 and the wheel
as
well.
Like you really would feel like you were driving the car.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about. But it looks gorgeous in PlayStation VR 2. It's honestly still to this day probably the best looking game on PSVR 2.
I really should get onto GT7 just because I played GT in the past, like I think back in PS2 era, and yeah, now I'm just like I think I really need to grab 7 for whatever reason, because I do like some racing games here and there. So
yeah, it's very, very good, especially like I said, if you like racing games, then it's a no-brainer for me. It's up there with like something like Forza Horizon 5, which is also one of the best racing games out there as well. So yeah. But Ron, back to you, my friend. What's your second entry into this list?
I went with one that's pretty much for everybody. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. That's the kind of game that everybody can play. There was no way I was going to make a list and not put a Ratchet & Clank game on there. So I haven't had a chance to play Rift Apart yet, but I have not been disappointed with any of the mainline Ratchet & Clank games. So I know Rift Apart's going to be just fine. So that's another one I would definitely recommend.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Again, that's another one that I had on my like communal list where like I would have brought that up if you didn't. So I'm glad to see that on there. It deserves to be on that list. And it was also like the game that really sold a lot of people on getting a PS5 in the first place with all the warp stuff. So it's got to be on this list for sure. But Matt, what about you?
I'm going to go with a Spider-Man game, but my personal favorite one and the choice I'm going to recommend is the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, so that, hey, you get Spider-Man Remastered alongside with it.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
Another loophole for the one full experience. I love it.
# loophole. You're welcome. You're welcome, internet. But no, I'm very surprised, because I did grow up watching the animated series Spider-Man. So I grew up with Peter Parker. I watched the Raimi movies. Like I adore that character. So I was very surprised that after playing Spider-Man for the PS4 and then playing Miles Morales, who I wasn't too familiar with, I actually like him more than Peter Parker. I don't know what it is.
Miles is fantastic.
Yeah, like he's just very likable, and you're just rooting for him. Like he's and not that Peter isn't, but just something about Miles I'm just very drawn towards. And I just like the fact that Miles Morales, the game, I felt like it was much tighter in terms of the story. Like it was just more laser focused. What is it, like 10 hours? 15?
It's even shorter than that.
Yeah, it's short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. I'm okay with that. And if you want it to be longer, go back and do a new game plus for the platinum if you want. But if you, just want the one playthrough, then it's a short, tight experience. Whereas I felt like the first Spider-Man game, it's good, it's excellent. I still do recommend it, but it can be if you're going for the platinum and you're trying to collect all the stuff, like finding all the pigeons and doing all the combat stuff, it can feel a bit tedious, especially after you play Miles Morales. You can see how more succinct and more streamlined it is. So I highly recommend playing Miles Morales. Like you, again, I do strongly feel like Spider-Man has become a huge part of the PlayStation brand, and just everything. And just again, it's also a stellar example of what Uncharted brings to the PlayStation, what Ghost of Tsushima does, which is like it's a very single-player narrative-driven game, and that's what Sony Wheelhouse is. But again, I feel like Spider-Man just has mass appeal. Like there's nothing spoopy about it. It's not super too violent. There's a story mode. You can crank it up to hard. Who doesn't like Spider-Man? Like, come on. Like everybody likes Spider-Man. Like he's one of the coolest superheroes. So I feel like if you have a PlayStation, you do need to play a Spider-Man game. But I personally recommend Miles Morales, and then, like I said, you bought the Ultimate Edition, and you can go back and you can play the remastered, and then you can play Spider-Man 2 later on at some point. I haven't played that one, so I can't comment if that one's very good or not. But Ryan,
Now,
It is great.
I have conflicting thoughts about this, because first of all, I agree with your choice for the submission. First of all, I think that Miles Morales Ultimate Edition is the way to go, because then you get both. But I actually think you should play Marvel Spider-Man first, then play Miles Morales. And the reason I recommend that is, even though you're right about all the points you made about Miles Morales, and ultimately I think it's a better game than Marvel Spider-Man, but it goes back to what we talked about before when talking about Uncharted, where it's going to be so much harder to go back to Marvel Spider-Man if you play Miles Morales first. So I do think like you should at least play Marvel Spider-Man before playing Miles Morales. And with the remaster version, they did a great job of modernizing some of the controls and stuff like too. So I think like I think it definitely holds up as a really good, really solid game. And not only that too, but like narratively, I think it also the narrative will make a little bit more sense as well if you play the first one first. So
it does.
Yeah, I do think, like, while I agree with what you said, I do think you should at least play Marvel Spider-Man first before Miles Morales, because otherwise I think it's just too hard to go back to it after.
Spider-Man, the first game, it does set up Miles' story. So it does, again, like you said, it does lead into Miles Morales quite well. Again, you don't have to, but again, you're right. For the emotional story beats, it would make more sense, especially with, not going to spoil it, just, certain relationships, like it does lead into what happens in Miles Morales. So it does. It's just,
it also,
I don't
there's
know.
a lot of like other little things as well. Like when you're doing some of the side quests, as an example, it sets up some of the mainline story stuff in Miles Morales as well. So there's little things like that I think will actually benefit the experience and actually help you get more out of it if you do play it first. So that's what I mean. I think there's more to it than that.
It's just hard. I just like Miles Morales. I don't know what to say.
No,
I just like it.
I agree,
right, man.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Because I actually think those games get better as they go along. Because I actually agreed with Ron's take when he talked about Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 is incredible. I think that it's probably the best of my favorite of the three of them.
Same.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wow.
I do think like, because otherwise I might even just say, oh, we'll play Spider-Man 2 first. But I think like it's better you should play Miles Morales, and I think you should play the first one as well, because I think they're both really solid games too. But Yon32 asked the question in the chat: do I need to play the others first?
Yes.
You should play all of these. You should play all
Yes.
the Spider-Man games as well. I don't know. I think he also put this question around the time, like it was when we were transitioning. So you might have been talking about Ratchet and Clank, but you don't need to play the other Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah,
as well.
not really.
Yeah.
Oh, not that one. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure our bases were covered, of course, regardless either way. But of course, Daryl chimes in saying, "Nice, I enjoy a short game." Yeah, it is actually
Short
a really
games
short
can
experience.
be good. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is short. Yep.
Yeah. And Kiku, I'm not putting your question up on the board. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Instead, I'm transitioning to Fuya. I would at least acknowledge that it was in the chat and that you said it. I'm not ignoring you.
Angel.
Yeah. So Fuya, I'm gonna go to you next. What is your game that you would like to include on the essential list?
Now, it wouldn't be fair if I'm on here talking about all these different indie games and not actually mention an indie game that I would highly recommend on the PS5 specifically.
Okay.
And that is Grease. Purely because of the fact that, apart from the fact that it's an absolutely beautiful platforming puzzle game, and the fact that the story is also really awesome and just very emotional as well. It actually showcases the power of the DualSense controller, just like Astro's Playroom does, and more so to the fact that it uses the speakers within the actual controller more when you're playing through the game, which is absolutely amazing. And I really enjoyed playing Reese, just, even just from the first playthrough. I don't play my games with headphones on, which is how I figured out that there were sounds coming out of my controller for this game. But also the fact that it uses the haptics as well and the vibrations too, and it's so well done. The way that they made it work for the PS5 was absolutely awesome, and it's also it's a short game for the list as well, so it's not going to take you like hours upon hours to get through. You can get through that game in, I think it's like a 4 to 5 hour ish experience.
Yeah, it's around 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could definitely get through that in maybe 1 or 2 sittings, depending on your gaming style. But yeah, highly recommend Grease. It's beautiful, it's emotional, but also showcases the greatness of the features of a DualSense controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I've still never played that game, so I can't. It's
really good.
Same. It's on the wheel though.
It's excellent. It's fantastic. Good choice, William.
I feel like Matt, when I mentioned the fact that it was good to play on the PS5, did you pick it up on PS5?
Yes, I bought it. I double dipped because you said PSV. You were talking so much about the DualSense features. I was like,
yeah.
I love this game, so I'll double dip, and you know what? It's on the backlog in terms of going back for a quick platinum run because I really thoroughly enjoyed that game. I think I played it on Switch, but yeah, when you just kept talking about how it actually makes good use of the DualSense, and I was like, you know what? Double dip, support an indie game. It's sometimes I don't feel like crying. I'll just hop back in and get a quick platinum. But definitely a very good game. It's good. It gets you in the field.
Just gotta get a quick cry.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get a quick cry in. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
Yep.
And it's something. All right. Okay. As for me, I wanted to add some variety, and I actually have a final pick that we'll do for the communal one that I think is an interesting variety choice. But one for the PlayStation 4 era that actually got a PS5 update, because I was bouncing between like which one of these 2 games in the series I recommend, but I got to go with Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one.
Yes, Ryan.
I think
it's on my list
because we just we have some of the Sony third-person action or adventure games here, like Uncharted and Ghost of Tsushima, but like that's really been their bread and butter this generation, and Horizon is no such. I mean, it got overshadowed by Breath of the Wild the year it came out, but honestly, I feel like that was like a contender in one of the best years in video games ever, 2017, and I still think it really holds up today. It's got robot dinosaurs, it's got this cool like post-apocalyptic story. Like I really love Horizon Zero Dawn, and I like
Aloy is a
Forbidden West.
badass. Aloy is great.
Yeah, and I actually like Forbidden West as well. But I think like the first game in particular, just there's something special about it. But not only that too, with someone who's brand new to the PS5, you don't want to start with Forbidden West. You want to start with Zero Dawn for sure. Mm-hmm. And even though we've got that remake maybe coming out at some point, Ron, of Zero Dawn.
Yeah, already. I know.
Yeah, I mean at the very least, yeah, me too. But I feel like I have to put Horizon Zero Dawn on the list. Like there's no question to me. There's one of my favorite, Sony first party games of the PS4 era.
Yeah. So, man. Nice pick.
Yeah.
And it's such a unique combat system. Like I do feel like it does stand out from other games like Uncharted, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Like for me personally, like I think it's so unique when you're walking in and there's like 4 or 5 robot dinosaurs. You have this massive wheel weaponry. It's like, where am I putting my traps? Where am I going to start from? Am I going to go, arrows blazing, or am I going to sneak in, or a bit of a mix? Like there's so much variety to doing it. Yes, Fulia, yes. Excellent physical copy. That I think everybody should play too. But just very unique combat system that I've experienced. Then good pick, Ryan. Everybody needs to check it out for sure.
Yeah, and it really reminds me in a lot of ways of like the modern Tomb Raider games, which I also really enjoy as well with the bow combat. So, and the expansion as well. The Frozen Wilds is also good too. That comes with the complete edition when you buy it now. So. There you go. But let's move on to our communal picks. So there's one. So we're going to, of course, pick the final two between all four of us here. And I have one that I would like to pitch to the group to start off the conversation. Because, we don't have any sports games on this list. And people really like sports games. And there is one sports game that is synonymous with PlayStation, despite the fact that it is currently on other platforms now. But it's MLB The Show. I think MLB The Show deserves to be on a list like this because, one, people love baseball games. Two, it's the best baseball game on the market. And three, it's a Sony first-party sports game that is of the highest quality every single year it releases. And it also just gives our list a little bit of variety as well because we do want to cater to some sports fans. So that is the first one I would like to pitch to y'all. What do you think about my pick for MLB The Show to include?
I'm okay with it.
Baseball guy, but it is a fun game. Yeah,
because I know the four of us are not baseball people. Like, yeah,
I wouldn't put it over. I wouldn't put it over Madden. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because the difference with Madden, Ron, is like Madden's not really synonymous with PlayStation 5, whereas like MLB The Show, like, when you think about Sony and sports, it's like that's the game you usually think about. But that's just how I feel. What do you guys think?
They got those nice Steelbook editions every year, so that's a plus in my books.
That's what got you back.
I'm just saying.
The Steelbook.
That for now. I don't play any sports games, so like, I've never experienced it. I've heard many good things. I know people give it high praise. The only thing that I personally recognize is like, that's a beautiful Steelbook. Can't wait to see what next year looks like.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. But I do like the fact what Brian said. It does add some variety because we are trying to build like an essential thing. You don't want 10 of the exact same game. So I'm okay with it for now. But let's see what
I was going to say. It's because we're going to go through our options and we'll decide at the end kind of thing. So who's next? Who has another one that you'd like to pitch?
I'm going to submit, I've talked about this game many, many times, but I'm going to submit a exclusive indie game to the PlayStation platform, and that's Concrete Genie.
Concrete Genie, there you go.
It is, yes, it's a single player narrative game, but it is different because I think there's some combat near the end, but it's not a combat heavy game. Like, you're going around, you're painting different types of graffiti art, and it's such a chill and cozy experience, but again, you know what? This is another game for a quick cry. Like, if you just sit back and just absorb the beautiful art that you've made. Hey, I'm being honest.
I know you are, but
I play Concrete Genie. It's not a quick cry.
The term "a quick cry" is becoming a thing, and I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah, I don't know now.
Hey, you want a medium cry, long cry, whatever. I'm not judging what kind of cries you want. I just wanted a quick one, so I loaded up Concrete Genie. But, just sit back and just enjoy the beautiful artwork. And
it's a nice game.
It does. It is compatible with PSVR 1. It doesn't work for PSVR 2, I imagine.
Nope.
But yeah. But you know what? If we're talking about PS5, so you can play it on your PS5, but unfortunately you can't use the PSVR features. That's too bad, but you can still enjoy the game. It's quite beautiful. And like I said, it is different from the other ones because it's not. I'm pretty sure it's like under 10 hours. I'm pretty confident. But it's just a nice, chill, cozy game, kind of like what Grease provides, but in a different way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Still some platforming. There's a more explicit story, but I think it's, again, I just want to highlight, that PlayStation doesn't just do these massive AAA games. Like, they also do smaller titles that are quite creative and have a lot of heart to them. And Concrete Genie's definitely one of them.
Okay.
Nice, man.
Nice. That's a good one. I haven't played it, so I don't have too much to say about it, but I trust y'all's opinion if y'all say it's good.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Ron, I kind of want to get you on my side with this one because I think you'll actually agree with this pick and like it.
Okay.
Infamous Second Son.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Game is so gosh darn good.
Yeah.
Yes, It was a PS4 launch window title, so it's an older game. But man, that game is still so
good. Yeah, still a good game. Yeah.
It is good.
Still a good game.
It is good.
And if you get, the Ultimate Edition with First Light, the expansion with Fetch is so good too. Like that, it's one of the best superhero games on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 at this point. And I think it's definitely a game that I think might deserve to be on this list as well. I think that's one, like, we talked about it before, where like we would love to maybe see a PS5 version at some point, or God forbid, a sequel at some point.
Herman.
Yeah. literally anything at this point. We love Infamous.
Make it happen.
Yeah, like at first, like when that game came out, I was like, I didn't love it as much as the first two Infamous games with Cole, but I still really like that game, and that's a game that's only gotten better in my brain over time. And even when I've gone back and revisited that it's always been fun to play. So.
Yeah, I think Second Son got a bad rep because it was not, like you said, the old Infamous games. But I thought Second Son was still good. I prefer the first and second, but Second Son is still worthy. So yeah, nice pick, man.
Yeah, nice. Any others that we want to include before we get to voting? Fulia?
Yeah, Koala.
I haven't played it, but I've seen many people play this, and I think it deserves to be on this list only because of the fact that we haven't mentioned a fighting game yet.
Oh, I like fighting games.
Tekken 8.
Okay.
Tekken 8 will show you the power of the PlayStation. Just purely because of, the fact that the graphics are pretty cool. A lot of people prefer to play their Tekken games on the PlayStation because the PlayStation is the fighting machine to a lot of fighting game players.
I do have my fight stick right there in the center of the living room for my PlayStation because I was playing Mortal Kombat with it the other night. But yeah, I love Tekken. I love fighting games, and I mostly play them on PlayStation. So.
I played Tekken back in the day, and it was on PlayStation, and I love it. So I'm pretty close to actually getting Tekken 8 myself. Like the fact that a lot of people have been really playing it, going nuts about it, and not to mention the fact that there's been a lot of like when you go and do like competitions and stuff. Tekken 8 is huge in the fighting game scene. Mm-hmm. So
no, it's up there with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Like those are the three most popular ones, and Guilty Gear, of course, which is also exclusive or was exclusive for the longest time to PlayStation. So,
yeah, I would definitely add in Tekken 8 if you want to just get in there and just have some fights with some friends, online co-op. Tekken 8 definitely.
Okay.
Nice.
Do I need to play Tekken 1 through 7 to understand the story?
No.
Or
Look, the story makes no sense.
There's no point.
I'm going to say, Matt, the story
I don't know
makes
anybody who's
no
really
sense.
playing Tekken for the story.
Actually, I liked the story because of how goofy and stupid it was in Tekken 8, but it makes no sense anyways, even if you've played all the other games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the only Tekken that I've played, I think, was either 3 or 4 back in the day, and I didn't start with 1, so
yeah. Whereas I have played a lot of the Tekken games now, and Tekken 8 in particular, like I like the story a lot in that. But again, it's so stupidly, it reminds me of like a dragon or something like that in one place because it's just so over the top and ridiculous that it just doesn't need to make sense. It's just a fun ride. It's definitely not like the Mortal Kombat story where I actually like playing the Mortal Kombat games for the story because the story is really, really good in those games. And then Street Fighter is also like a good pick too because like Street Fighter 6 is definitely up there as like one of the best fighting games on the console too. But I just didn't pick one of those because again, it's not really like since it's not exclusive to PlayStation. Like I don't always associate with those with PlayStation lists.
No, it may not be exclusive, but it's a lot of people prefer to play it on the PlayStation, so that's why I picked it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other entries before we get to voting, y'all?
I'll throw Journey on there too. As my indie pick. Journey it was a great looking game when it came out on PS3. Still looks fantastic now. It doesn't demand much as far as gameplay wise, but man, it's such a beautiful game, and it's just a fun game to play. So. I'll throw that on there.
Okay. And the last one I will submit, by the way, is a PS4 game as well, but it runs really well on PlayStation 5. Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. Shadow of the Colossus, one of my all-time favorite games. I only was hesitant to put it on my list because I do think the controls haven't aged the best, even with the updated control scheme. So I think like for newcomers, it might be tougher to get into. But God, that game is so gorgeous, and it oozes like environmental storytelling in a way that other games just don't. And it has some incredible boss fights, of course, because you don't really fight other enemies. It's only boss fights. And the story just, I whenever I want to quick cry, as Matt says, I pop in there and play Shadow of the Colossus because that ending gets me every time still. Like that, I love Shadow of the Colossus so much. It's so good. So
I have a quick cry in Shadow of the Colossus too when I had to fight the camera.
Yeah, yeah. especially with
different
that,
cry.
like there are certain colossi where that you really fight the camera a lot.
Yeah,
so
that camera gets
that's
crazy.
why like I don't anticipate it makes this list, but I have to at least give it a shout out because again, it's one of my all-time
it has some great qualities about it. It just,
I was gonna say, that game is pretty synonymous with PlayStation. I wouldn't say it's a quick one to toss out. Let's not jump to the conclusions.
Control's about the only thing I can really complain about when it comes to that game.
For sure. That's why I think like that's the type of game you get into a little bit after you've gotten your feet wet with your PS5 versus a game you go and rush out to buy in this 10-game list day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd have to ask is like, because you guys I've never played it, but the controls are dated or out of whack, whatever. But
It's
is it?
camera
I guess the big question is
the
it
camera
worth
specifically.
it for the experience? The camera, is it worth it? Like,
I would say
does
try
it take
it, yeah.
away?
100%.
Yeah.
It is a slam dunk of a game for me. Like it's very easily like one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah. And that very first Shadow Colossus fight, man, when you first do that, it kind of sets the mood, but like I said, it's just the controls, that camera, golly.
Yeah. But like some of the boss fights, like when you fight, there's this bird colossi you fight very early on, and when you fight him, you're flying in the sky, like climbing up its wings, trying to like stab at certain parts, and there's like this epic sweeping score playing over you as you look around you and as you fly over the world, and it's just zooming by. Like it's one of the coolest feelings in games. Like it just gets me so pumped.
Definitely play it, man. I mean, you got to at least experience it for yourself, and then just go from there. But man.
Yeah.
You guys are selling it, sweeping score, quick cry, like kind of interested.
Yeah. The story,
You might want to check to see if you already have it, because it was a PlayStation Plus title, but if you didn't add it to your game library, of course you missed out. But
but it's also on PlayStation Plus Essential if you have that.
Oh, okay,
extra,
it is.
if you have that.
Okay. I have PS Plus Extra, and I shouldn't be so quick. I might have downloaded it, so pushing me hard to give it a try. Is it short?
It's shorter than a lot of other games. It's like 10 hours. Yeah. But
Okay.
the way I will mention, because you mentioned your disdain for puzzles that are obtuse a little bit earlier, Matt, this is a PS2 era game, and most of the colossi themselves are kind of like big puzzles in a lot of ways that you have to solve. So if you're not into puzzles as much, you might, especially dated puzzles like these, it might be tough to get through.
And there's no maps. So you're going to have to rely on your sword. And
the sword basically points you where to go, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very, very good about leading you where you need to go.
Your sword is the compass.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. I thought this was like a boss rush game where like you're just fighting
No, there's
one
an open
boss
world to
after the
explore.
other.
Yeah, you gotta get to the bosses. Yeah,
you ride your horse to get there. And because like there's also a bunch of collectibles in the open world that allow you to increase your health or increase your stamina, so you can climb longer on the bosses, or you can take more damage.
Yeah, hold on for dear life. Yeah.
Trust me, there's more to the game than just the boss fights.
There you go. There's your Breath of the Wild experience in PlayStation.
Oh God.
Okay, you're selling me.
Yeah.
You're
Don't
selling
do that.
me.
Don't do that,
That's a
Koala.
good selling
Yeah.
point.
If that's the way he's gonna get him in.
Right, because back when I first played
It's
it, like,
selling
my
me, yep.
favorite thing about it was like going and exploring the ancient ruins of the forest and being like wondering myself like what civilization lived here before, lived in these lands before everything got wiped out. And it's like as you learn more and more about the world, it gets like really interesting. So
Yeah.
This is the one that's about fighting different colossi bosses. There's no dialogue, right?
No, there's dialogue.
This is the one.
There's dialogue.
There's
minimal dialogue.
I'm imagining the wrong game.
Minimal dialogue, but there is.
Yeah, it's not a lot of it. It's
because you don't really have a lot of other characters you interact with. You're mostly in a barren world by yourself with your horse, but there are other characters that your character talks to because there is a story there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Go
check
for
my
it, man.
library.
Go for it.
Or at least try. Is there a story mode?
Like
Damn
an
it,
easy
man.
mode? Yes,
No.
there is. Yes, there is.
Yes. Okay, good. All right.
You
Just
go
making
in
sure.
there. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
What do you mean? Need
To
to
be
know.
fair, it's
if it
not
gets
referred to
really-
as story mode, but there's a very easy mode. Yes.
Look, Ron.
Perfect.
Even
Thank you.
if we lied to him, it'd be the first thing he'd check anyway.
I know.
Yes.
I tried.
Yeah. But
I wanted him to at least try it on normal first.
I will also mention there's a lot of incentives for actually beating the game on the higher difficulties, because kind of like Resident Evil, like one of my favorite things about it is the replayability, because then once you beat the game, you can go play the bosses again, but on harder difficulties that unlock like new items and abilities for your character that then make you like stupidly overpowered in a lot of ways. And so you can just totally rampage through the world and have a lot of fun with it. So, yeah.
I try on the harder difficulty. Just longer cry, harder difficulty. Quick cry, story mode. I have options of how I want to cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Just keeping it open.
I'm gonna have to start a quick cry count
boy.
on
Old
on
story
the
mode
payment.
king.
But anyways, we should probably vote on because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries: MLB The Show, Concrete Genie, Infamous Second Son, Tekken 8, Journey, and Shadow of the Colossus. So let's put it to a vote. So first, we'll do a raise hands. How many for MLB The Show to enter? I'm gonna do this. 1, 2.
I don't like sports, but for the sake of variety, I'm okay with adding it. I
Okay.
really am. And I've never even played this thing. And I don't play sports in real life or in video games. But
Okay.
I'm like, maybe somebody who bought the PS5 likes sports, then
Yeah.
here you go with your baseball cards and other things, like whatever else you do.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's baseball cards in there.
Again, it's a
Sure.
quality game, despite the fact that we're
Okay.
just not the target audience for it. But because I do think it's important to have games, even if we're not the target audience for them, to be on a list like this. But Concrete Genie votes for Concrete Genie. Oh, 3 votes. Very nice. I've just never played it, so I just don't have anything to say about it. Infamous Second Son. What do you think about this one?
You like that game?
I got
but
Ron.
You do.
Excellent. But it still only got 2.
I'm-
Okay, so Concrete Genie.
I'm
is
not
the leader.
I'm not voting for Infamous Second Son just because excellent game. I do like it, but I feel like it's very similar to what else we've put into the Essential Library. We got Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima. That's the only reason why I like that game. But it's trying to add some
Good
variety.
reason. Good reason.
Yeah. All right, Tekken 8. Votes for Tekken 8.
Never played
A
it.
fighting game.
I like Tekken 8, but I just don't associate with PlayStation, so I just don't want to. I'm
Never
not
played it.
including it on this list. So,
I
Fulia,
never played it.
the sole voter for Tekken 8. Journey. I'll vote for this one. Ron. We got 2 votes.
Played it. Can you tell me what kind of game it is?
You never played
what kind of
Journey?
game is it?
Oh man.
No. Or Shadow of Colossus.
Actually, you know what? The thing about Journey is, Matt, first of all, it's an indie game with no combat, so you don't really have to worry about fighting enemies in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But the less I tell you about the game, the more you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. It's a beautifully orchestrated exploratory game, and again, that's all I need to tell you.
Yeah.
About it.
Story without words. The environment tells you everything.
There are light puzzles, but the puzzles are so easy that you will not have any trouble
Yeah.
with them.
And like Ryan said, it's better to experience it. That's
Yeah.
one of those that you don't
Wow.
want anybody to tell you that one.
It's also
That's a high
low key, Ron. One of the best multiplayer games on the PlayStation 5.
You know what? I actually did run
Multiplayer?
into somebody when I was playing it in PS3. That was actually kind of cool. We actually ended up playing like most of the game all the way up to the end together. That was pretty cool. You can't plan the multiplayer.
No,
It just-
it's random.
Yeah, it's just random.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It's
it's cool
part
though.
of the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at you, Koala. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Nicely
So
done.
that-
Fulia, have you played Journey? Have you played it?
I haven't played it. I've seen it being played.
You're the
but I
indie
haven't played it
queen.
myself.
You're the indie queen. How have you not
Y'all
played
are
this
missing
game?
out.
Play every indie game under the sun. Jeez.
That's true. That's true. Y'all are missing out though. Journey is like a really special game.
Yeah. Eh?
Like I honestly
Alright,
didn't think about it
alright.
at first, Ron, because that game is so synonymous with the PlayStation 3 in my brain.
Yeah.
But like the PS4 version is really good too. Like it's a very good port. So,
I love that game. It's on my GOAT list. So
and then
Wow, very high praise.
last but not least, Shadow of the Colossus. Who's voting for that one? I'll vote for it.
I'll vote for it. I'll vote for it. Yeah.
Cool.
How
So-
many ties do we
Haven't
have
played it.
now?
So
a few.
okay, so
That's what
here's
makes this more
here's
fun.
what we've done. So Concrete Genie making the list for sure. Got 3 votes. So now we have 4 games with a 4-way tie for second place. So
Oops.
how do we want to how do we want to decide this then? To run down the games again, we got MLB The Show, Infamous Second Son, Journey, and Shadow of the Colossus.
I'm taking Journey over all of those.
Let's say
Journey.
pick one. Yeah.
Journey.
You know what? I'm actually going to go with Journey as well. Because I'm going to take Shadow of the Colossus out of the running for sure, because I do think that it's, an amazing game. But like I talked about, I think that's more of like a game you get after you get your feet wet with the PlayStation 5, I think.
Yeah.
And then Infamous Second Son, as much as I love that game too, I think I kind of agree with Matt on that point, where it's like, we have a lot of games like that. So maybe even as much as Ron and I like that game, I think maybe we kind of that's another game that probably you get after you get all these.
Makes sense though.
So I think it's probably Journey, because otherwise, Matt, unless we really want to go with MLB The Show, I think we probably put Journey in here.
Jay, I personally can't, just because I haven't played MLB The Show or Journey, so I will trust the crew's expertise with Journey.
Okay, we're gonna put Journey on the list.
You got to play that.
Yeah, both of you.
Okay.
You need to play Journey at some point.
It's a short game, so not too much
it's only
time
like
investment.
I think it's only like 4 hours long. Very short.
If that much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Okay.
And you can get the plat easily.
Also, Ron, it's a quick cry. It is 100%
It is.
quick cry.
It is.
Cry.
Sold.
Yeah, he's not lying.
Yeah. All
It'll
right.
get you.
So to run down our list, this is the PlayStation Drive's official list of essential PS5 games. The top 10 includes Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, Grease, Horizon Zero Dawn, Concrete Genie, and Journey. So if you're grabbing your
That's a solid
PS5, go grab all those.
It really is. Yeah.
The best part is, I think almost every one of these games, except for maybe Grease and Gran Turismo 7, are almost all in PlayStation Plus extra.
Journey is not in the extra tier.
Oh, I thought it would be.
You have to pay
it's
for
not.
that one.
Aw.
Okay. Okay.
But it's worth buying, everybody. It's worth buying.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that port is fairly cheap. Like, I don't think it's too
Yeah,
expensive.
it's always on sale too. So
Yeah. So, there you go.
Listed.
That's the list. Please be excited. I'm going to have to make a fancy graphic later about that, because I want to show that off a little bit. But let's go to the carpool and get the comments about this particular topic, starting with Final Fantasy VIII is life, Final Fantasy VIII is love, who says, so when building the essential PlayStation library, there is one game that is essential, Final Fantasy VIII. It's a true masterpiece, and everyone must experience it.
Surprise, surprise.
Where was
See that one coming.
Where was Awesome Dave when we were talking about Final Fantasy VIII yesterday on the RPG Cave? He was missing out.
I thought it would summon him. I thought it would. You're right.
I'm shocked. Yeah,
A lot
I'm
of
shocked
praise
he
for
hasn't
that
said
game.
anything about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
A lot of
my
praise on that
guest this
episode.
week, for those that didn't listen, also a big fan of Final Fantasy VIII. So we talked. About
Wow, there is actually dozens of them. My goodness.
There are actually dozens of them that they do exist. But next up, we got Tim Paullin, aka Captain Bacon, who says 3 outstanding games. Add in Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. Now that is truly one experience, of course. Victor Sullivan for President of the United States of America. Of course, the thing I'm failing to mention is Tim Paullin included a picture of the Nathan Drake collection. So Nathan Drake
great
collection.
pick,
with
Tim.
Uncharted 4 and
Great
Lost
pick.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you don't have to include Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, because they're part of the Legacy of Thieves collection on the PlayStation 5. So they're already in a collection already.
And Lost Legacy is great.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Skycatcher in the chat who says Dead or Alive 6. I like Dead or Alive 6. I think that's a good game.
I forgot about Dead or Alive series.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Croco Kyle, who says, since I know y'all will cover the most popular heavy hitters, I'll evangelize 2 perhaps less frequently discussed ones, which we both talked about both of these actually. Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, one of the earliest PS5 exclusives that truly showcases every inch of the processing power and the fidelity of the PlayStation 5. And then Horizon Zero Dawn / Forbidden West, a brilliant series that got overshadowed by releasing around the same time as Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring.
Both of those are heavy hitters in my heart. I love both of those, especially Horizon. Horizon belongs right up there with God of War and Uncharted and all that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's up there with Horizon Call of the Mountains up there too. Come on, we all love that.
I know a lot of people who played it loved it. VR, I'm not into it, but
I actually didn't
like
like that game, but it was a glorified mountain climbing simulator. I'll just come out and say it.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah, there was very minimal combat and it was a lot of mountain climbing.
Okay, I know a lot of people talked about it. So
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it was a good. It was a really good usage of the PlayStation VR too.
Okay.
That's for sure. And it was gorgeous. Like that game looks so good in the headset.
It did look
especially
impressive.
with HDR in particular. But now we got questions from other topics, starting with Quaggy, who says, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes." God, his intro gets crazier every time I read it. In honor of Mr. Capri's birthday, who, by the way, Sean Capri's birthday is today, folks. Officially turning 40 today. So
shout out to Sean.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
What is your favorite game that has a map in it, and why is it Totkey? That's a good question. What is that?
Wrong.
What is our? It's our favorite game.
He has a good map. He has a good map, all right?
I can't
Slow
even
down.
say
Slow
I can't
down.
even say Shadow of the Colossus because it doesn't even have a map in it, as Ron points out.
Final Fantasy 16 has a great map.
Was
know-
it?
There you go,
Oh, nice.
Koala. There you,
You
go.
know, Fuya, Final Fantasy 14 also has a good map too.
It does. It does. He's not wrong.
Oh, look
He's
at
not
that.
wrong. Better than Totkey or Thougtkey.
Well, of course. We don't
Hockey has a
do
good map,
that here.
All right.
We may say Thursday here, but we don't say Totkey here.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
We just did.
Just me. Just me.
No, Matt.
Final,
no.
Final Fantasy 16 is a great game, and it has a great map.
Yes, listen to Koala, not Matt.
I didn't even say Ducky. I'm just saying this is a good pick. All right. It's not my pick, but it's a good one.
It's like every
All right.
Ubisoft game, open world. The same map. It's the same thing.
It is not the same map.
It's
Stop
the same
it.
thing.
Stop.
We're
It is
slap a
not.
Nintendo
No,
label on it, and all of a sudden it's God's gift to the world. Stop this.
That's
Wait,
not how it is.
That is kind of how that works, though, Ron. If it is Nintendo, like a Nintendo game,
I know how they get down. I know.
get out of here with this, Adam David. Adam David says stuff.
Starfield.
That game had
will
no
be?
map.
Adam is straight trolling.
It will. It will.
No,
When the
it has maps
come,
now.
you'll see.
They
It does
added-
have
they added
maps
them in
now.
patch. Yeah, they patched
Okay,
them in.
see?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
and I agree with Star. Any map that has integrated fast travel is a
Yeah,
great map.
yeah.
That's
true.
why Final Fantasy 16 is a great map, because you have fast travel.
That's why it's going to be really interesting to play Metaphor ReFantazio later this year, because it's a big RPG from the makers of Persona. It has a map, but it has no fast travel in that game.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Oh,
You're going to be walking around everywhere. And it's going to
Interesting.
be interesting.
Yeah, the traveling's a part of the journey there, Matt.
I was gonna say, like, that instead of doing the day system that Persona does, it does like a traveling system where, like, when you travel from place to place, it like takes up a certain number of days, and then there are certain things you
Oh.
do while you're on the train.
Yeah,
It's-
so
it's-
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
But I will say, if we're talking about maps with fast travel, Aiden Chronicle Rising had a great fast travel system, even though the map was a bit so-so, because it was literally just you go down the list of all the places you visited, you click on it, and it makes you travel there immediately. And I'm like, I'll take that over, traveling to a point and then having to walk all the way. So
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool. Well, moving on. We got the captain who says, "This is a show made for me after only getting back into gaming last year after the better part of 10 years without a console. I didn't know who from software were until last year, and I hadn't ever realized the masterpiece that I had played 2013's The Last of Us had got a part 2, and I had completely fallen out of the loop with gaming. I feel like I've played so much in this last year, but a couple games I would have to add to the list are Spider-Man 2018, God of War 2018, and Resident Evil 2 Remake."
nice
We like those
choices. Nice choices.
very good. Very good.
Yeah, Cap.
My question, though, is if you were sent to a prison and you were going to be doing 3 years in solitude and you were told you can have one console and 3 games, which would you choose to help you through it and keep you company? Rules to this question: no MMOs or online multiplayer games.
Yeah, I was upset with Cap through the MMO because I was going to pick Final Fantasy 14 for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he ruined the
Warcraft in
plan.
there.
I was like, damn it.
You'd have 3 easy picks, Ron. You'd add that. You'd add Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft, and then you would never run out. You would never run out of free time again. But
There's no internet in this prison for the prisoners.
Well, there's going
right?
to be internet
Sorry.
in the prison. There's going to be internet. You just can't play with your friends. Those
you
are
got to
the
be able to
rules.
update
That's
your
right.
game.
Yeah,
Matt,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
Also, the captain says my personal choice would be the PlayStation 2 with Metal Gear Solid: Sons of Liberty, Final Fantasy X, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Okay.
So, to throw it out there, I'm going to pick the most Ryan Turford choice of all time. I'm going to actually pick the Sega Genesis because that's just what I do with the CD attachment. By the way, have to have the CD attachment because
Sewer Sharks time.
it's part of the console, right? Right, Ron?
It is.
So I would pick Shining Force 2. It's one of my games. Of course, Shining Force 2 is like a tactical role-playing game. It's kind of like Sega's answer to Fire Emblem in a lot of ways. But it's like an infinitely replayable game that I would enjoy just playing over and over and over again. Like that game is kind of like Civilization for me, where I can just play it nonstop and never get sick of it. Same with something like Sonic 2. I think Sonic 2 is an awesome game, and I it's a game I can just play all the time, and just, it always puts a smile on my face. And then the last Sega game I would throw out there is Crazy Bus, so I could drive everyone else in the prison crazy with the music from the intro screen of Crazy Bus. So those are my three. But what about y'all? Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna go super basic and just gonna bring my PS5 because I can play PS4 games. So the first game I'm gonna bring is not the remake, but the OG Resident Evil 4. It's just comfort food. Like I've already played, I don't know, like probably close to 100 times. Like I played the crap out of it, and it's just comfort food. I can just go through it so quickly and just enjoy it with the different costumes. Am I just going to use only these type of weapons? I don't know. It's just comfort food. I can play it over and over again, even though I've already done it a million times. And then I would bring Fallout 4 and Witcher 3, just because I know I've only scratched the surface of those games, even though they're both credits. I only put in like 60 hours to each. But you know what? You can, in Fallout 4, obviously there's lots of different choices to make, different factions, different builds I can do, and then all the DLC. And the same for Witcher 3, including all the DLC and all the different choices you can do. Pretty sure there's like different types of armor that you could have picked and different weapons that, you know, I can experiment with. So it would last me quite a bit of time, but if I eventually get bored, I can promise you OG RE4 will entertain me many, many times over and over and over again.
Nice. Yeah, that's one of the best things about those games is like they're infinitely replayable. But that's also like kind of why I picked with the Genesis games, because it's like I could really become, in those 3 years, I could be like become a speedrunner for some of those games. Like that's one of those things where you just play them over and over again. You get so good at it, you can just like run through it. So it's really good to have like infinitely replayable games in that scenario. So I like your picks. Also, shout out to the chat, by the way. Kiku, of course, saying, Ryan not Pepsi Man, so clearly I'm an imposter. Well, you know, Pepsi Man's only good for so long. And, of course, the Jiggy Collector, who knows that I love Sonic 2, because Sonic 2 is actually a great game. And Yarden, who says, I would just choose Last of Us 2, because if I'm in prison, I'm guilty and deserve the worst punishment possible.
Yarden, too much. Wow. Too much. Too much, Yarden.
Yes, Yarden.
Too much.
That was perfect.
No. No. Too much.
Too much? Too? Like last week?
Too much. 2? That was far out.
That was right from the heart.
I used it correctly.
I love it.
I used it correctly
it.
this time, right? That was far out.
No. You don't say that was far out. You just say far out.
Same thing. Far out.
It's the reaction.
That's far out. It's far out.
No, it's not the same.
He's far out.
It's not the same.
No.
Take your pick.
This is accurate.
Far out.
Yarden gives comment of the night. That was fantastic.
It's a good comment. There. The ticker has been officially updated.
There you go.
Far out.
Well, as for me,
yeah, go ahead.
if I was stuck in prison for 3 years, I would go the handheld route, and I would take my Nintendo Switch, and it will have. And it will
How
have.
dare you?
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not.
Let her
I
say
don't
her
have a Portal.
games first. Maybe they're bangers.
Yeah.
I've got
Let's
my
see.
Switch, and I can play it handheld. I can play it docked if I'm allowed. So I'll have it in the cell, and I'll be fine. And I'll play Animal Crossing New Horizons, because I know that one you can play forever and ever, and there's no real end to it. So you can do whatever the hell you want, make yourself challenges, decorate, villager hunt, do all that sort of thing, and it'll keep on going forever. So that is a forever game, essentially. I will also take Fairy Tail with me, because I really need some kind of RPG, I feel, that is going to keep me going. And I have a little bit of anime as well in there. So Fairy Tail I will definitely play, because that'll keep me going for a while. And then I would take a Lego game. So either, I don't know which of these two I would prefer, but one of these two would be my favorites to go with. Either Harry Potter or the Star Wars saga. I feel like maybe the Star Wars saga I'll get more out of it, because there's more like story and more collectibles. So I think Lego Star Wars saga would be the third game I would take with me. Just because I love the Lego games. They're fun, they're wholesome, they have good humor in it as well.
Fun and wholesome in a prison. What? What the hell
You
is
need to
going
make
on
yourself
here?
happier.
It's going
You're
to
in
keep me
prison.
going.
Yeah.
It's all good until somebody shivs you in the shower.
Jesus, Ron.
Takes your little switch from you.
I'm sorry, we don't have that here in Australia.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't think so. I hope.
Yeah.
I've never been to prison, so I wouldn't know.
But by the way, shout out to Kiku who says Fulia betraying us by going with Nintendo, even though no one batted an eye when I picked a Sega console.
Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
throw it up there.
It's
I
all
love
good.
it.
Though.
I love it.
Sega's one of us. Sega's the PlayStation. It's all good.
La-di-da, Ron.
Yeah.
Nintendo's allowed here. We're okay with it. And Taki. Come on.
Matt,
No Toki. No Zeldas here.
That's right. That's right, Koala.
No Zeldas for me.
It's a no Zeldas club here.
No.
Hashtag no Zeldas.
Apparently.
All right, Ron.
They're my picks.
You
Yeah.
got to give me your picks, man.
PlayStation 5 will be the console. I'll finally have time for No Man's Sky. So that's gonna be one I bring along. That's gonna probably keep me busy the whole 3 years I'm there. But No
would.
Man's Sky for sure.
But would you be okay bringing it even though you can't play with other players since the
Yeah,
rules
I'll
of
be-
the question say no online multiplayer?
Yeah, I play solo anyway, so that's fine with me. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Um,
okay.
I guess Persona 5 Royal will probably be another one because I played the base game. I want to see the changes, so Royal, and Lord knows I'll put plenty of hours into that. So that's going to be another one. And then Elden Ring because I love the game so much. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Final question of the night comes to us from Black Wyver, who says, "Good day, y'all. I've got a non-gaming question for you. With Fulia's birthday around the corner, happy birthday in advance, by the way.
That's right.
Could you share a memorable moment from any one of your milestone birthdays?" So I've already come up with my answer, so I'll go first so you guys have time to think. Because this one I will always remember probably until the end of my days. So my 30th birthday, I was in college at the time because I was going basically for my broadcasting career. Because I was working, dead end jobs and other stuff. And I really wanted, it was my second college degree because I have my degree in marketing. But then I wanted to get a second one because I always wanted to do broadcasting. So I was living in the dorms at the time in Thunder Bay, which is important context to the story I'm about to tell. So my girlfriend at the time, we were doing this long distance dating thing. And most of our long distance dating involved us playing World of Warcraft together because we both were really into World of Warcraft. That's how we met. So it was just very easy for us to, hop in. Like every time it was raid night, we were definitely playing together, and it was a definite thing, which happened to fall on my 30th birthday. Was a big raid night where we were going to do a whole bunch of stuff. We were basically doing our weekly, I think Cataclysm was out at the time. So we were doing our weekly Firelands raids or something like that. And, but that's not important to the story. Because my friends from the college were secretly scheming to throw a surprise birthday party for me that evening. So they, I was in my room. I was like, all right, my girlfriend and I, we made plans to play World of Warcraft together. That's how we were to celebrate my birthday. And then we were going to spend time afterwards, talking and stuff like that. That's how we were going to celebrate my birthday. So while we were playing, our raid was about to start, I get a knock on my door. I go to my door, and it was one of my classmates, Connor, who was standing at the door, and he was like, "Hey, you should come with us. We have some stuff we want to go do. Do you want to just hang out with us tonight?" And I'm like, "No, I've already got plans with my girlfriend. We're going to play World of Warcraft." And I'd already told him this earlier in the day because he asked what I was up to that night. And I told him I was, celebrating my birthday with my girlfriend. So he's like, "Oh, okay, but are you sure? Are you sure you really don't want to come out with us? Because we can go have some fun. It'd be more fun than sitting in your room." I'm like, "Nah, it's okay. No, my girlfriend and I already have plans." So he goes away. About 20 minutes later, when the raid is starting and I'm ready to give people my spiel because I was the raid leader at the time, so I had to give people instructions on what to do. I get another knock on that door. And it was my friend Erica and a couple of her other friends, and they're like, "Ryan, hey, you should come with us. We want to go to the bar tonight. We should go celebrate your birthday. We're buying if you want." And I'm like, No. I already made plans with my girlfriend tonight. I already told you all this earlier in the day. And they're like, they were really, really pushing me to get out, but they couldn't say that it was for a surprise birthday party. And then eventually, after 10 minutes of them trying to convince me to come out and me continually saying no, they're like, "All right, Ryan, we're going to level with you. We planned a surprise birthday party for you, and we would like you to come to it." And I'm like, That's cool, but I already told y'all earlier in the day
Oh wow!
that I'm spending time with my
Cold
girlfriend.
as ice.
No, because
Nice.
you
know what you want. Good
No,
for
because
you.
I was like very upfront with them earlier in the day.
Right,
about
so I
plans.
told you what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Not
Like
only
it.
that too, but like we were very serious at the time, and like I just really wanted to spend time with her, So
Nothing wrong with
It's
that.
your birthday.
yeah,
Do what you want. I like
Exactly.
it.
Did you slam the door in their face? Did
no, but I was just like, I'm just like, look, when you all asked earlier in the day, I told you I was busy. Like, we could do this tomorrow if you want. And they're like, oh, well, tomorrow doesn't work for us. So I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I mean, you guys go have fun, and I will sit here and do my thing and celebrate how I want to. So during the raid, my phone keeps going off because people are of course sending me pictures over Facebook of like them actually having the party without me. And they got like the birthday celebration to come out, and one of the other people's there, Crystal, she was just like, it was at this I can't remember what restaurant it was. It was like a Montana's, but it was something different where, like if you celebrate your birthday there, they stick a giant moose helmet on you, and you have to wear it as they sing happy birthday to you and you stand on a chair. So they made my friend Crystal do that in my place, and then they all had like this big birthday cake, happy Ryan's 30th and stuff like that. So I just got pictures throughout the night of what my surprise birthday party was like that I never went to.
That you didn't attend.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But
Yeah.
you know what? Good on them for still going through with it and sending
No,
pictures and
I
stuff.
told them
so.
they should just go have fun because, like,
for
yeah,
them.
like they sounded like they wanted to have fun anyways, and it's just like, yeah, it was just one of those silly things where it was just like, I had set the expectations, and I the part of me is like, oh, maybe I should have gone with them, but I'm like, no, I made
you
the right
did the right
decision.
thing.
because-
Yeah.
Like I knew that I wanted to spend time with my girlfriend, and that was important to me. So, so I that's my story of my 30th birthday and how that went. The surprise party that became not a surprise, but I still didn't attend. But people enjoyed. People had fun. People liked the cake that was there. So that's the main thing. But
Unbelievable.
how about all y'all? Do you any of y'all have like a milestone birthday story like that, that you want to share?
Not like that one. Definitely not like that one.
Well, I'm sorry to make y'all follow me after that story.
I thought that was great.
It's a great story. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the only milestone one I really had that was a big one was my 21st, but I can't talk about that one on the show.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, can't do that.
well, we don't want to get booted off the
Respectfully.
internet.
Of course.
Yeah. Don't want Sean to fire me, so no.
True.
Post show.
Okay. Yeah. How about Matt or Fluid? What do you guys have?
Yeah, when I turned 30, I do remember that one distinctively because that was the same year that my first son was born. So I remember that birthday very well because very tired. And I just remember like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit at home and just be left alone. So that one I remember in that sense because I was like, my first, I think he was like 2.5 months. So like still talking like sleep deprived. Like, so I remember for that, even though it's my 30th, I was like, oh, it's a big deal. I was like, just leave me alone. Just let me have some peace and quiet. That's all I
Understandable,
want.
man.
So,
These first few months, boy.
Yep.
You and
Oh,
new
yeah.
parent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
yeah.
I like how I'm nodding my head like I don't know anything about raising a child, but I'm like, I don't actually know anything about this.
No, nothing
Or just
about
like,
that.
just leave me alone. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Okay. Yeah, Kiku chimes in.
Yeah.
Matt just wanted sleep for his birthday.
For his birthday.
Yeah.
It's all right,
Yes.
man. It's all right. I understand.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't have a memorable story, unfortunately. Mine were pretty bland and boring, and just
Aw.
I went out partying. That's it.
Maybe this birthday will be different. Maybe it'll be memorable for other reasons.
I mean, it's tomorrow, so I doubt it. Nothing's planned, so
You never know.
I'm going to work tomorrow.
Everybody, that's Tuesday for us non-Australians.
Tomorrow,
It's
but
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Just
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
so
confusing.
Monday for
Tuesday for
or-
us.
Yeah.
Tuesday for me still.
No.
It'll be Tuesday for me. The 30th. That is my birthday, the 30th.
Right.
It's confusing. It's confusing.
Time travel's weird.
Well, I was
Look,
going
my
to say,
birthday
Ron.
will last a little bit longer, considering the fact that once my day ends, your days are going to start, and it's still going to be my birthday.
Right.
Celebrate you all over again. It's worth it.
But in
it is.
theory, if we wish Fulia a happy birthday at like 6 p.m. on Chunday, aka tomorrow, in theory, it would
On
still
Monday?
be
On Monday, you
Tuesday.
said?
No, I said Chunday.
Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
Monday.
Because Tuesday is her birthday, technically.
Yes.
So it'd technically be Tuesday in the evening tomorrow.
But whose Tuesday? Both of our Tuesdays, or just hers,
My Tuesday.
or both?
Matt, there is no
Just her
Tuesday. It's only
Anyways.
Tuesday.
Let me bring out this thing that I've been holding on to for quite some time. This is
Oh.
this is going to be the anyways
Oh.
chime.
I like how it took you like 3 swings
Of
to get
course.
that. Yeah.
I keep missing it because I'm looking at the camera instead of the actual
No
thing.
one wants the
Yeah.
no one wants the dinner bell on the show.
There's a triangle on the show, friends. Yep. A
But
real
also,
triangle.
the day after my birthday is this guy's
It's Maddie's.
birthday.
Yep. Maddie's birthday.
It is.
This
It
is-
is.
But he
it
won't
is.
even be in the country.
No,
is-
I'll be nice then by then. Yeah.
That is so weird. Like we just had Sean's birthday today, and then Fulia, and then Matt, all like in the same week, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And wasn't it Dr. Bland's birthday a few days
Yeah.
ago?
Yes, it was. It was.
See, all the carpool gaming hosts are born in the same week of July.
End of July.
Except for
That's
us,
it.
Ron,
That's where it
I
is.
guess.
Hey man, I'm cool with having Gemini season to myself. It's all good.
I'm cool with being the only March person. You know,
And isn't also Fiona? Isn't she also a July baby?
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
It's too much.
There it is.
There's quite a few of us actually.
No.
Love it. We love it here.
Just happens.
All the Leos. Let's go.
Anyways,
Oh boy, yes, that's right, Ryan.
Let's get
keep
outta
it
here.
moving. Let's keep it moving.
let's get out of here. So, of course, let's thank all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpool gaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this podcast and the Xbox Drive. You can find out all of his music over on his link tree, linktr.ee/PME/JIB. Of course, all the link for that can be found in the description of this podcast. And also Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. Please make sure, of course, to always support our ultimate producers as they support us and keep the lights on. Our platinum producers, Peje, Smokin Joe, The Captain and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Kia Savoy, Patrice Mallette, Shane Erickson, Tech Mike, the Jiggy Collector, and Tim Aulph. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. And of course, if you want to hop in the car with us, head on over there and choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Ron Plugs go.
Savoy Prime on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Savoy_Prime on Twitter, Savoy Prime on Backlogged, and True Trophies.
Nice. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me as Nagachaka in the Carpool Gaming Discord, on Twitter, on Instagram as Nagachaka12247, and Nagachaka on TikTok.
Also, don't forget to wish Matt a happy birthday this week as well. There you go. Even though he'll be out
okay.
of the country.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
hashtag Canadian Gun Show.
No. We don't do that here.
Hashtag Schwednesday. Please be excited.
No.
All right. Fulia, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Foolish Fuji. You can also find me in the Discord at Foolish Fuji and on Instagram and X at Foolish Fuji. But for all that and more, go to foolishfuji.card.com.
Card, baby.
Card.
Card.
With 2 R's.
Yar.
And you can find all the links to everything there.
Nice. Nice. Well, as for me, you find me on the old Twitter, aka X, at Ryan Turford. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming. Also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live. We just had Sean's birthday stream that happened, and maybe more streams in the future. So make sure to go follow us on Twitch. Also, I'm just going to give a personal shout out to my RPG Cave episode this week, which is one I've wanted to do forever with a very special guest. So make sure to go check that out if you're interested in just hearing us talk about 90s RPG nostalgia. And also you can find us on podcast services around the globe. So for Fulia, Matt, and Ron. I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive, episode 160. Only 40 more episodes until 200, y'all. And we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios,
See ya.
friends.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.